Hi, my name's Eric Chudler, and today I have Asad Beck with me to talk about his pathway into neuroscience. So, welcome, Asad.
Hello.
So, you're a graduate student now, Asad. What lab are you working in?
Yeah, so I currently work in the lab of Horacio de la Iglesia in the Department of Biology. I'm currently a
And
third year student.
what year are you in graduate school now?
Yeah, I'm currently a third year student, reaching the end of it. Oh gosh.
And where did you go for your undergraduate work?
So as an undergraduate, I went to San Diego State University in California.
And what did you major in?
So I majored in psychology and I double minored in philosophy and English.
And were you always interested in science? Like in high school, did you take all the science classes? Is that something that did you know that you were going to be a scientist even when you were in high school?
No. Like if you asked me in high school if I'd be in a neuroscience PhD program, I would probably say no. I did have an interest in psychology in high school, but I also had an interest in, English, sociology, like so many other fields that I couldn't make up my mind. I still can't.
There's so many choices. The work you're doing now in the lab, what is it focusing on?
Right. So what I do in my lab currently, so my lab generally focuses on circadian rhythm. So like when you wake up and when you go to sleep, things like that. My particular focus in lab is more on epilepsy and how that is related to, sleep-wake patterns. So a lot of what I'm trying to do in my project is trying to make some sort of computer that will be able to predict or, figure out when you might be having epilepsy symptoms, like seizures, for example, to hopefully stop before it happens.
And are you doing electrophysiology? Are you looking at behavior? How are you approaching that problem?
Right. So a lot of what I'm doing is electrophysiology. So I'm right now looking at epilepsy in mice. So we like put little electrodes in their mouse brains and then gather data from that and then sort of analyze it on computers to figure out, okay, can we see if a seizure is happening? The goal of this project is to be able to transfer this to humans so that we can, do the same thing in humans and prevent seizures from happening, also using like electrodes, hopefully.
I see. And how did you find yourself in the particular lab you're in now? When you started graduate school, did you rotate between a couple different labs and decide on that particular lab, or how does that actually work?
Right. So yeah, so I in my first year of graduate school, I did rotations, and my goal coming into graduate school was to stick with human subject data. Like that was what I was used to. But then I rotated in this lab, and it was fascinating to me because I had the opportunity to really work in the more translational side of things, like working with mice, figuring out how I can get a system to work best, and then I can translate that work to human patients. And hopefully, it'd be a lot more effective than if I was just working especially with human patients.
I see. So now that you're about maybe halfway through your graduate
Oh
studies,
gosh.
in your program, do they have a qualifying, a general exam, and also a defense of your dissertation? And where are you in that process?
Right. So they do have general exams, and the way it works in my program is that we do our general exam about at the end of our second year. So I did my general exam last year, and I passed, thankfully. So now what I'm focusing on for these oh God, these coming 2 years is my dissertation, getting that done, defending hopefully at the end of my fifth year, hopefully passing. We'll see.
Well, it looks like you're well on your way. So when you're not in the lab, what do you like to do in your spare time?
Oh man. So a big thing, like one of my really big hobbies is music. You can't exactly see, but I'm surrounded by instruments. Like there's a guitar right there, electric drum set right there. I even have an accordion, which I need to figure out how to play properly. So music is a big thing. I also like baking a lot. I've been really like hooked on making these like Swedish chocolate cookies. That was just delicious. I also like reading a lot as well. My friends don't like that I do this, but I do my best reading while I'm walking around Seattle. So I do that often as well.
Well, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Maybe I'll let you get back to your music.
Sounds good. Thank you
Okay.
for having me.